Guys, if you're a Pusha T fan or not, you should be really excited about this new album that he's dropping because Kanye West and the Neptunes are executive producing it. And every time Pusha T drops an album, it ends up being an album of the year contender, just like Daytona was in 2018. So in today's video, we'll be taking you through everything we know about this new Pusha T album. And you want to stay until the end because the news is actually crazy. So this is the breakdown of it. We'll be starting off with the rollout and potential album title. Then we'll be moving into the snippets and album cover. Then the album features, the album direction, and finally our album sales and release date predictions. So, Ant, whole community's buzzing. How do you feel?
I'm always down for a new Pusha T album. I mean, go back to 2018. It was an album of the year contender in such a stacked year, and honestly, my album of the year. So it's going to be very interesting, but let's start out with the rollout because there's a lot of good information there.
So in December of 2020, Pusha T actually went on Instagram Live with his manager, Steven Victor, and confirmed that Kanye West and the Neptunes are going to be handling all the production on the album, which to me was great news because we saw what Kanye did with the sample chop-ups on Daytona. We know what the Neptunes could do after all the work they did for the clips. So that was great news. And he also said the album will be dropping in 90 days, meaning March of 2021. But once that month came around, the album didn't drop, but Pusha T went on Instagram Live again with Biddy and confirmed the album is going to be 12 songs, which was awesome news as well. Moving into July of 2021, Pusha T kept our hopes very high after he was featured on the Pop Smoke song Television, where he rapped, "Tyler got the album of the year for now." So, of course, that Pusha T bravado and confidence came in. But in October of 2021, Pusha T had an interview with Billboard where he said the album is in the mixing stages and he was finalizing feature verses, which was very exciting. But the thing that caught my eye about that interview was a quote that he had. So he said, "I've topped Daytona for sure, 1000%, guys." Let me know in the comments, do you think Pusha T can actually top Daytona? And Ant, do you think it's possible?
I think it's possible. I mean, listen, Daytona's a masterpiece in my eyes, but Pusha T has just gotten better with age. And I remember that first listening experience for Daytona. It was so captivating. We were all together and doing it. And we're going to be doing the same thing with our community when this new Pusha T album drops. So we do live album reactions on a weekly basis for the newest drops in the industry. It all goes down on our Patreon plan where you guys are able to come into a full-blown live stream and bump the album with us. Leave your takes in the comment section, see our reaction. So if you guys want to access that, the link is in the description. It's available for reaction tier members and crew tier members. So how was your first experience with Daytona?
Oh, I love the first experience with Daytona, bro. And this new album to react to it live is going to be such a thrill because you know you're getting quality with him.
For sure.
And one really cool update, which happened on January 14th of 2022, so just about a week or two ago, YouTube Music accidentally uploaded a promotional banner that might have spoiled the album title because you saw a photo of Pusha T and it had the title, "It's Not Dry Yet." So this tells me that it's like guaranteed either a single or the album title. So how would you feel about him naming the album that, bro?
That would be super cool. And I have some theories on that. Either it's like, the Coke reference, like, the drought is not happening right now. We're still in the hot season. Or it's meaning that his music isn't stale. He's still going. Like, the Coke talk is still better than ever. But I love the confidence that's coming out of this rollout. Like, that's at least what I'm getting towards. But let's go into the album features. How are you feeling about it? Because we have some confirmed ones, and I want to know, what other ones would you be adding to this track list?
Yeah, so Kanye West is confirmed to be on the album. At least it appears that way because they were spotted shooting a music video together and we heard like 8 seconds of a snippet, which sounded amazing. Apart from that, Freddie Gibbs tweeted out that he got a Pusha T feature for SSS and they did previously collaborate on Palmolive, and that's just like Coke rap extravagance at its finest, man. So I would love to see him featured on the Pusha T album. But the thing is that right now there isn't too many confirmed features, but there are a lot of artists that I'd want to see on this album. So one of them being Jay-Z after Drug Dealers Anonymous. I mean, it would be perfection.
It would be perfection.
Apart from that, Pusha T's yet to collaborate with the Griselda boys, who are kind of really dominating that Coke rap scene since Pusha T's been absent from the game. So it would be cool to see those gritty aesthetics match. Apart from that, Kendrick Lamar after Nostalgia. I know I want that again, but who else would you want to see? Because Ghostface Killer or any of the Wu-Tang Clan members would be awesome too, but who do you have in mind?
Honestly, Boldy James. I think Boldy James is one guy that I feel as if could really set up a good tempo for this, because going back to Bo Jackson, it was all storytelling cuts, and it was really it's not Bo Jackson, Boldy James taking you through the day by day, and I feel as if that sort of value could be applied to this track list. But other than that, I mean, who knows what you could see on this.
For some hooks, bro, I'd want maybe Anderson .Paak or
That's true.
The Dream, maybe
Rick Ross again.
Lana Del Rey. That would be interesting. But we'll get into that a bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bottom line is that anytime Pusha T collaborates with people, especially Kanye West, bro, after Runaway, after New God Flow, they just have a great chemistry, and I would love to see it again on the album. But yeah, going back to the actual snippets and album cover, which has been the most important thing that's been breaking all the news for this album and getting everybody hyped. So on Sunday, January 3rd, Pusha T, Pharrell, Kanye West, and other artists were in Paris for Fashion Week and attended Nigo's Runaway show, where we got a new Pusha T snippet, and apparently that snippet is meant for Nigo's new album and not for the Pusha T record. But around that same time, we ended up getting a new snippet from Pusha T, and it was kind of this video that looked grainy. It looked kind of classic and old, vintage, I would say, and it sounded like 90s coke rap, bro. It just gave me this old vibe, and apparently 88 Keys posted on his Instagram story, he reposted the snippet and said that he made that beat 18 years ago, which is pretty fire to hear. And listen, bro, you got one-liners from Pusha T. I had to take them down. Spent 6 just to make the roof Harry Potter.
That's
fucking
crazy.
Genius. And then left my elbow in the pot, a la Vince Carter.
That's crazy.
I'm not even a basketball fan, and those references still hit so hard for me. So how did you feel about the snippet? Because to me, bro, it just felt like the bars were there, the energy was right. What did you think?
Well, I think the consistency within Pusha T's, lyrical game is always going to be prominent. I mean, Daytona was that. It was super consistent. It was super focused. And what you hear from the snippets is exactly that. It doesn't feel as if there's filler. It doesn't feel as if, he's wasting any lines, because that's what I love about Pusha T's writing. You go through his rhyme structure and you see all of, let's say, the entendres and every, the wordplay, and it's never, ever, ever wasted. There's never a line where I'm like, oh, okay, that could have been this included on the song, but it was still a good song. Everything is written to perfection, and that's what I got out of the snippet. Like, we were bumping it just before recording this, and the first sentiment that I got is like, dude, this could be an album of the year contender again, and I think that's the general consensus amongst the community. So let me know if he brings back this energy. Do you think it's a lock for album of the year contender?
Maybe. Honestly, to me, out of any other rapper in the game right now that's active, Pusha T just has the best delivery. He convinces me of every line that he drops, bro. Like, he really embodies that trapper persona, and I just love the way that he executes his sound. But we got to talk about this cover art, because Pusha T, bro, he's known for these controversial covers. If you look at Daytona, if you look at the story of Adidon, it was just so cool to see him actually take this Lana Del Rey photo and reinvent it, bro. I love the fact that just by making a minor change to that photo, he just redefined that whole image just by slotting in a little pile of powder there.
Yeah, I know. It's
How do you feel?
Listen, I think it's really cool, and it's obviously going to get people speaking, because, I mean, the controversy that happened in 2018 with that album cover on Daytona really pushed the album as well. I mean, the headlines were everywhere. Kanye paid, X amount of money to have that on Pusha T's album. So who knows? This may be the cover, and it's posted on his IG. So it looks like it might be happening.
Should he use it as the cover?
I think so, because another good thing about this whole rollout is that there's nothing necessarily even like confirmed yet. It's just like all of these sort of like loose sort of fittings that are kind of all coming together. So that's what I like about the genius behind this rollout, is it's giving you everything without saying anything. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, you're getting the snippets, so you kind of understand, and you could contextualize the sounds that are going to be provided in this album. Then you get the branding behind it, and you're enjoying it. So overall, I think that I'm enjoying this. So let's keep going on with the rest of the episode.
So moving on, let's go into the album direction. And I feel like with Pusha T, you know exactly what to expect, but you want to get the classic Pusha T coke talk, bro, because at the end of the day, he executes it so well. And I love the fact that with every album, he's talking about the same subject matter, but he finds a refreshing twist every time.
Yes, sir.
He adds in more references. He adds in more modern pop culture, wordplay. And I just love the way that he's able to make all this drug talk sound so poetic, because no one does it like him, bro. When you're looking at the rhyme schemes, when you're looking at just the actual wordplay, everything is always on par. And listen, we're probably not going to be getting a concept album or anything that's too thought-provoking, but that doesn't mean that it won't be impressive, because there's always an unpredictability factor, and the production is always on par. And what's interesting is that Pharrell told Pusha T during recording sessions, you're always going to say the greatest things, but you want to be different? We've got to make compositions. So that tells me maybe we'll get some more live instrumentation, maybe some more orchestral sounds, and That has me fucking excited. But where do you see him going with the direction of the album?
I think it's all based on consistency. It's always been like that for Pusha T, and I was mentioning it earlier. Like, you need to have that sort of consistent coke talk within each of Pusha T's songs that are going to be featured on this album. Because going through his previous projects, you're right. It was never super conceptual based, but what was really working for it was all the wordplay, the engagement into the album. Because I feel as if whenever you decide to go into a Pusha T album, you're fully engaged from start to finish. There's no filler. Everything sounds perfect. So that's what I want to hear. Now, where I think he could improve is Daytona was primarily handled by Kanye West, right? So now you have other producers coming into the mix and handling the majority of the production. So how does Pusha T ride that? How does he create a different track list than Daytona, and how does he make it better? So my opinion is that he's going to use different instrumentations. He's going to go for different things. Maybe we're not going to get a sample-heavy album like we had gotten with Daytona. And like Pharrell said, maybe the compositions are going to come into play. So how do you think that affects his overall, let's say, performance on the album?
Listen, I think what Pusha T's gonna do here is give us a healthy mix of glamour and grit. I feel like the beats might sound more elegant here. They might be maybe more, I would say, uplifting in a certain sense. And I just feel like Pusha T's gonna make that kind of music that you would listen to when you're performing a high stakes heist. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of vibe, like a pristine and luxurious kind of sentiment to this criminal activity. And I love Pusha T for doing that. But at the end of the day, I think it's just going to be a tour de force of Pusha T coming in with these metaphors and just these lines that have your jaw dropped. And he's the king of the one-liners too, bro. Like, the material is always so easy to memorize. But let's actually go into the first week's sales, and let's actually take it back to a couple of the albums that he did in the past and what they sold. So My Name Is My Name came out in 2013, debut solo album, and it sold 74,000 copies first week, which is pretty good in Pusha T's lane. Moving into King Push, Darkest Before Dawn, the prelude, that one sold 40,000 copies first week in 2015. Daytona, 2018, sold 77,000 copies first week. And of course, that was because of the fact that it was part of that Good Music run. There was also the Drake beef mixed into that. So what do you think the new one's gonna sell, bro?
Oh, this is a good question. I think honestly, like maybe around the 55 to 65,000 mark. I think that it's gonna do a bit less than Daytona because the commercial appeal behind Daytona was massive, especially with the beef going on. But
listen, unless this song drops for this new album, then I could see it maybe selling 80,000.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like around that 50,000 range.
The 50,000 range is pretty safe to go with because I don't think it's gonna be the debut 75,000. Daytona was 77, but at the end of the day, like you don't even give a fuck about first week sales for Pusha T because you go in and like the album is not optimized for sales. Like that's another thing I respect Pusha T for is like he's okay with not having 25 fucking tracks on his album because he knows that he's sticking to coherent track lists. He knows he wants to give quality.
Yeah.
He wants to give something super tight knit that the fan base is going to live on with forever. So I think that's a safe bet, but let's go on to the predictions for the release date because we've been waiting for this album since 2020. We did pre-anticipation content on this album in 2021 and we're in 2022 and we're still asking questions. So do you think it comes before the summer? Do you think he drops it at the end of the half? Like, where do you think this is going?
It's interesting because he's obviously working very closely with Kanye West, and Kanye just announced that Donda 2 is apparently going to be coming out on February 22nd. So I had a feeling that Pusha T was going to drop before Kanye or anybody else in the good music space, but now I have the feeling that Pusha T is maybe going to come after Kanye West drops Donda 2, maybe have a feature on Donda 2, building more anticipation for his own solo studio album. So my guess is Pusha T comes in March or April of 2022.
Yeah,
I feel like the start of the springtime is going to be a good time for him to drop right after the hype that comes with Donda 2. So it's going to be a moment, bro. And I just think that anytime Pusha T drops, the whole industry, especially like the hardcore lyrical hip hop heads, they know that he's going to drop one of the best albums. So is that the same kind of time frame for you?
Yeah, I'm going to go April, May, though. I think it's probably going to come out before the summer starts. I think that it's going to be something that Pusha wants people to have, for the summer, for the new season. And it's always nice to, get back into Pusha T music. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this. We're obviously going to be covering this whole Pusha T rollout. So once the album drops, we will be dropping our review. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, we will be doing our live album reaction to Pusha T's new album, which you guys could join us in. So if you guys want to join the Patreon plan, link is in the description. Thank you for watching this, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching the full video, and if you're new to NFR, be sure to hit that subscribe button as we'll be keeping you guys updated with the latest album releases in terms of update videos, album reviews, and our own original series on the weekly. And we also have our Patreon plan available in the description below, where you can access weekly bonus content and also access to our Discord. So be sure to check out all of that, and we'll catch you in the next one.